owners can face a lot of tough decisions, like having to amputate your dog's leg after being diagnosed with cancer. Last week, we were introduced to the Schake family, who had to make this choice about their dog, Addie. In this week's segment of Pet Doc, NTV's Danielle Shenk takes a deeper look at this family's journey with osteosarcoma.
It's been a little over a year since the Schake family made the tough decision to amputate Addie's front left leg, but it was one they knew they had to make to keep Addie in their lives just a little bit longer.
I'm not gonna lie, the first 2 weeks were extremely tough. The first week was like extremely tough. I felt like I had a baby, like I had to be by her every time I'm like, oh, Addie's moving, I gotta, make sure she doesn't fall.
Brandon says there's a stigma attached to removing a dog's leg, with many thinking the dog won't be able to do some of the things they could before.
Addie.
How's this dog of this size going to do well with 3 legs? And obviously Addie's a great example.
He says this cancer is aggressive, and there's about a 90% chance there could be a micrometastasis left in the body.
Micrometastasis, which just means that we can't see it. We can take x-rays, we can sample lymph nodes, we can look in places, and we don't see any evidence of spread, but we know in our hearts and minds that 90% of these guys have indeed spread elsewhere.
Addie was given a couple of weeks to rest from the surgery before the Shakes made the tough decision of going through with chemotherapy.
That's not guaranteed, right? And it's also not cheap either. And so we were just trying to weigh the pros and cons of us doing it.
Brandon says Addie went through 6 treatments of chemo, with one about every 3 weeks, all while having a smile on her face.
She has such a great attitude. She's not, terribly old. She's, 7 going on 8. If you were to look at your dog at that age, you'd say, man, you got a lot of life to live.
Some dog owners may fear there will be a change in their dog's personality, but the Shakes say they didn't see any difference in Addie.
They said that dogs take it better than people, and they don't give them as high as dose as people. It's not to cure the cancer, it's more to make it manageable.
This is a bittersweet day when we finish the chemo and we say, now at this point, it's just live life as long as you possibly can with the highest possible quality. And that was months and months ago.
Now Addie is continuing to do well while also staying active with Trayson.
I say I love Addie.
She's amazing. She's ornery. She's better than ever. I think she was in a lot of pain, and she masked it on it before we amputated it. And so taking her leg off, I think we took a lot of pain that I didn't know had.
There is a small chance Addie could still have cancer, but Kara says they try not to think about it.
It's always in the back of my mind, right? That timeline and that she has cancer. But I'm just trying to, thanking God that we got this extra time with her, and that she's happy and she's healthy.
She hopes Addie's story will help take the stigma away from amputation and chemotherapy.
Your dog can have just as normal of a life as they did with 4 legs. I was so sad. I was like, oh, she's not going to be able to do this or this or this or this. And then, no, she can actually do it better because they're not in pain. So I wanted people to know that, it's not the end of the world, and dogs can get around great with 3 legs, and not to let that stop them.
You can check out the full story of Addie's journey with osteosarcoma on our website. I'll be back again next week with another tip on how to keep your furry friends happy and healthy.